Okay, test. Recording in progress, and we are switching to English because I was just talking with Maja, and actually she's from the same country as I am, and that is Bosnia, but raised in Serbia, Novi Sad. So,
Sure.
um, fir- first of all, Maja, thank you so much for joining, and we will talk about career breaks and like your life where I really found your life and career in SEO very specific, very interesting to ask many questions because you're a woman coming to the from the iGaming industry, and somewhere you became a synonym from the iGaming. So wherever we are talking, like on the meetups or something like that, oh, there is a Maja, she's on iGaming or something like that. So thank you so much for joining, and welcome.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It is actually really lovely what you said. I could not be more flattered. So thank you. You just do your job, and like you try to share knowledge, and you try to like get people around, and apparently it gets recognized in communities even outside the Balkans. So like that is really really nice that you said it. Thank you.
And even like when you are talking about iGaming, and now when you said it, I really feel that passion that you are feeling about that. So, how actually you end up or started with iGaming? Because that is not some common path that SEOs are taking, because we have a lot of, I would say, like false beliefs. iGaming is blah, 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 and everything that comes after. But how you enter that iGaming world and how everything started?
Okay, so I think like in 2016 or 17th, I don't remember exactly. I was invited by Katina Media Belgrade to speak at a conference at a meetup that they organized. And I thought that was like an amazing thing to do at that point because they were trying to suss out, like the market to see if there are any good SEOs, etc. And I had a course to promote at that point. Like I was really into copywriting, and I tried to kind of but like the copywriting with the SEO in mind. And I thought, like why not, like do a lecture, and it's going to be really nice. And I think like it's going to be nice to kind of mingle with some people. And I had some friends working in iGaming who actually invited me to kind of speak in New York at Cine Media.
Was it
And
Dan?
no, 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 no,
Ah,
no.
okay.
Like there's another SEO called Mariana.
Okay, okay.
Yes. And it was me, and it was my friend Darko Brzica, and I think like a couple of people from Katina Media as well. And it was like a really, really nice meetup. And then afterwards, I started talking with the head of SEO from there, and like one thing led to another. And I realized, like this is like a very interesting industry. The SEO that they do is actually very challenging. I really like taking on challenges, and I thought, like this could be something for me to try out, because like before that I worked with difficult industry, but difficult. I worked with
Mhm.
small industry, I worked with enterprise websites, I even had like some adult industry clients, like some small niches. I worked in ranking lawyers and everything. So like that is actually difficult SEO, but like it's still like there are still other types of SEO that you could do. And so I decided to move to Malta,
Mhm.
because I really envisioned myself living somewhere close to the sea. And it kickstarted my iGaming career. And I've
Mm.
been iGaming ever since. I've switched companies. I progressed. I've learned a lot. I've shaped a lot of people. I've mentored a lot of them, and honestly, it's a super exciting industry. And if anybody else is looking into an exciting industry where they can work a lot, I would suggest gambling affiliation. Definitely.
Mhm. And did you had some beliefs how the iGaming industry looks like, where when you actually experienced, you see that actually is just like false beliefs? Like if you can share like few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I think like coming from a very Balkan environment where I was just dealing with foreign clients, In this case, I was dealing with a lot of foreign coworkers, and like the cultural exchange, and like my Balkan way of thinking, like straight to the point, very clear, etc. Like doesn't always mesh well. So I had to work on a lot on my soft skill and on my management skills, just because due to my knowledge, I was always offered management positions because that was where I could be the most efficient. And it worked out really well. And in terms of gambling, it actually, in terms of SEO, I think like there are various techniques that people think. Gambling is not just black hat. Gambling is not just white hat. Gambling is whatever works hat. I guess blue hat or pink. I don't know. And I thought it was really interesting. And I didn't know much about the industry. And even now, I realize that people actually don't know much about gambling. It's only if they meet somebody who works in the industry that they realize it's not just poker table in Vegas. It's not just Joe Pesci trying to bury somebody in the desert. You know, it's not Al Pacino doing something or something other. Like it's not like the movies. It's like a very different industry where you sit behind the desk, you are behind your computer, and you're just ranking websites. So it's challenging because you're fighting people with big budgets, and you have your knowledge and your budgets and your skills to do that. So it is actually really challenging. And yeah, my recommendations for any SEO who would like to kind of switch up the industry: try gambling affiliation.
And what kind of like stress level? Because, for example, I have so many clients that are coming from B2B, enterprise, e-commerce, and like they are actually, like there is stress is real, and like they are experiencing a lot of stress and anxiety. But also the clients that are coming from the iGaming industry, I see that like the level of stress is a new level. Because when we are following kind of like the paths of the regular kind of SEO things, like algorithms. So definitely there is a stress. But here is everything is on stake. You can get it, you can lose it, you can kind of like every day is a new day, and definitely is more engaging, more kind of like more mix of feelings of everything. So did you have experience with that kind of like stress level, and how you see different industry regarding the stress?
Yeah, I get it. I get it totally. On my end, I think like stress comes from three things. So like it comes from mismanaged expectations, it comes from inactivity, and it also comes from bad management. So like when I would actually feel that like people under me or like people that are friends in the industry and we're talking together, etc., when I feel that they would be stressed, I would just basically offer a piece of advice, just like figure out which of these three things are actually just like not working out, like for you, and try to fix them. Because honestly, in the affiliation, people understand that SEO goes up and down. People understand that your competitors are not just going to roll over and let you have it. And people understand, like that these things are mutable. So like there's no, like, cannot get fixed, like position. For that you need PPC if it's allowed in markets. So there is a constant way that you need to respond to the demands of the market, and there is a constant way that like you need to be vigilant in order to figure out like what the hell Google wants from us now. If those three things are not aligned, if like you have mismatched expectations, if you are not managing the workload properly, and I don't think that these things, the stress is going to be really high regardless of which industry you are in. I personally believe that it can be managed. And I also personally believe that at some point, if it's not happening, you need to kind of step back and kind of take a good look in and figure out like what's happening and what's working out and what's not, etc. And ultimately, my advice for everybody is just look at yourself, look at where you are, what you want out of life, and then make an informed decision. Because jobs are and companies, we people from the Balkan were very loyal. But ultimately, you need to understand that by making the good decision for yourself, you're actually helping the company as well, regardless of what that decision is. So, on my end, in terms of managing stress, it's not the industry. It can be the environment.
Yeah. And also our reaction, because we can see a lot of different SEOs are handling like these things without the stress, like that they are in high, like these kinds of industries. So it's always about the reaction on the situations that are in front of us. And you mentioned about Balkan cultures and countries. And I know that a lot of people that know you and me will watch this, especially people who love you and watching you. So and that also can come from the 2 weeks. I had one conference and we were talking about Balkan culture and like how we are behaving in the international companies, and it was so funny. And I will also share my story when I came to American consulting company. Like there were like 10, 15 consultants in different times. And like in the first months, what I was missing is actually, like there was a mistake, someone made mistake, and then we are coming to the meeting and we are just oriented to the solution. Me coming from Bosnia, it's straightforward. Let's find who is guilty of this and then we can move, and then it was so funny. And I was talking with my best friend who was working in States for 10 years, like I was like, I'm most frustrated because nobody's talking who is guilty of this. And and my parents and everybody, we first find who is guilty and then we can move on. But like these people, they are not finding who is guilty at all, like they are so solution oriented. So even I incorporated that mindset after and everything, but it was like so frustrating for me to to align with the new culture. So do you have some stories like at the first of your career, how you mix that like Balkan mindset with the international mindset?
Of course, of course, of course. I mean, to kind of give a little bit more insight to what you just said, like I personally think like like solution oriented is fine. I don't need to know who did it, but I need to know what happened so that you future proof it like for existence. And if in the meantime I figure out who did it, it's not a bad thing, but like I definitely like we need to kind of help that person get that person more coaching and whatever happened, like to do that. Like there are like a lot of things, like that I've done, like I'm not saying any company is specific, but like when people are playing with the plugins and then they just like think like, oh, I could switch this off and then I'll be able to do this. And meanwhile, they switch it off and they no index a certain category of pages like this. And you need to have like people who are able to see these things and who are able to act on these. And that is actually a very important thing. And sometimes you get like really stupid rules in the company when you join one. And then you're like, what is this rule? This is just like a normal thing. And then you realize it actually happened. So I guess like solutions focused is very okay. I also like to be preventative as well. I need to figure out like, what happened. Like I don't need a culprit, to be honest, but like I need to figure out what happened and what's in the future. But I think like for me, the biggest actually love as well came with managing the Nordic teams because we're just not communicative as much. And you have to understand, like that, like for like a good thing about me is that by being very loud, I'm very much aware that I'm very loud, like and commanding and have a presence and everything. So I make sure that everybody else's voice is heard. So like for me, I don't think that was something that people have expected, and that is something that I really try to live up to. So it is really important that regardless of what culture you're managing, you need to understand that we're all very much human. And that person who may have done that mistake, like just by accident, they're probably very much scared at this point. And if you lead with kindness, it is actually
Mhm.
that it will help them be a better person in the future. And we often forget that, because in Balkan, blame is not a problem. Like, like it's fine. Like, you did it. That's fine. We'll
It's
fix it.
default.
Exactly. Blame is not a problem, but in some other cultures, it actually could be. So yeah, it's a skill that people need to acquire, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. And it's um actually I have learned a lot from international, mindset and career, and I think it impact my career very well, because I
Nice.
think that we, especially from Bosnia, we are coming from a lot of false beliefs and like some default behaviors that are not helping us to growth. Like we are sabotaging us more than like I see like other cultures, but that is something that really helped me to grow in my career. So I'm actually very grateful that I was working with these international companies and like cultures, because I was acquiring a lot of good behavior for my personality and these things. I think the core topic of this podcast, what I really wanted to talk about, is actually career break. Even we started with different things, but I really love it. Career breaks are something that we all want, like we are dreaming, I will take a career break, I will travel, I will do this, I will find myself, I will find my passion or something like that. But it is so scary. And again, I think the Balkan people, that we have a lot of different bad things that are happening in the world, and about wars and everything. We are so scared to pause, to stop, to find ourselves, to stop with our career. So I did that last year. Yeah, it felt like week, but definitely it's almost like 10, 12 months. And even I am mindset coach who is doing all these mindset things. I did a difference between like me full-time employee, and then me quitting my job, which was the most scariest thing for me, and then like starting my business. So I was experiencing that on my skin as well. But you also did career break for 2 times. You will talk about after you started your agency, and this a new career break that you are experiencing now. So please share your thoughts, experience, feelings, whatever you would like and think that are actually beneficial for the audience.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I absolutely see where you're coming from. And it's actually a very brave stance, like to take on that. For people who are watching this podcast now and do not feel like quite fulfilled in their role, or maybe are afraid to take the first step, there's just two things that I would like to say. Okay, so the first one, wherever I failed to listen to myself and make the tough decision that I wanted in life because of XYZ reasons, and I didn't make that decision, very soon life would come after me and force me to make that decision. And when life comes after you to force you to make that decision, it's not nice.
Much harder.
It is not nice. It is not nice. And the other thing, every time I had made a change, whether it's a career change, a company change, industry change, or anything else, it was almost, oh no, literally always for the better. Always for the better. And that has made me a little bit more confident in the future to know that I will be okay. I will be more than okay with every decision that I make, because I'm better than where I was like a couple of years ago. I'm better where I was like 10 years ago, and I will be okay. And I think like even if you get like temporary ups and downs, it's like investing in yourself, but like investing in stock markets and like something that's a sure thing. It may dip from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
It is on a constant growth trajectory. And I think people really forget that. And I honestly, and this might be a little bit controversial, I don't think you'll get that by staying at one place. You kind of need different experiences. Now, agency work is a little bit different because you get to work with other clients and other stuff. But like compared to in-house SEO, you don't have as much ownership or even authority to kind of have these things implemented and to kind of figure out like, am I really a good SEO? Which is something I've this when I was discussing this with a lot of agency SEOs, like they're like, man, I'm not even sure if I'm a good SEO because everything that I asked for them to implement it, they implement some of it, they implement maybe, some other things. And like, I'm not even sure what has worked. It's like at this point, I'm like templating my suggestions. And I
There are
think
more practice negotiation skills to implement something than SEO task.
exactly. And SEO needs to be implemented. SEO needs to be tested, and you need to kind of understand whether you're right. And even if you can like kind of have like small projects on your own, or just like do some things pro bono, where they're going to be very happy, like to kind of just receive any advice from you, and you're going to see how actually good that is. That is actually a very good thing. And I'm actually very happy that I've had that in gambling. And because in the gambling affiliation, SEO is the most important person in the room. And if they're not, run away from that company. And if
Mm-hmm.
the SEO is the most important person in the room, then what you say goes. And then you're more than welcome to test things. And then you're more than welcome to hone your SEO skills. And it works really, really, really well. So I know that the question was like a career break, but like I would say like the things that I have mentioned so far are some of the internal thoughts and internal triggers that if you feel that you are experiencing at your work, it might be time for a tough conversation with yourself. I'm not saying make any rash decisions. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I always start, like auditing my life from time to time to kind of understand like, am I happy where I am? And am I happy where I'm going? And am I happy with status quo? And then I have a tough conversation with myself and then understand like what is next for Maja. And it's
Mm-hmm.
with age. I'm no longer 22 years old. So like it comes with age, and I hope that if whoever is listening to this can benefit from, because I paid for this with my this
You can
wisdom
save
does
the
not
time and money. Yeah.
the wisdom does not come cheap, guys. I wish I had this podcast when I was starting out.
That is the thing. But yeah, I think you mentioned the key word, and that is listening to yourself. Because across the years, across the college, school, after, like, we need to get a job, and then we are starting to work in a job that we don't like, and we are listening to managers that we are not so aligned, and when we constantly doing some things that are not so aligned, but we don't have experience, like courage or anything like that, we stop listening ourselves, we stop believing on ourselves. So all the things that you have mentioned and did in the past actually worked very well, because you started to listen yourself and like did something, like. And I really would like to encourage all the people. We know what we want, but are we just sometimes curious and brave to put on the paper? We don't need to do it right away, not in the month, but we need to start to really think how we can achieve that, because we stopped our wishes because of so many different negative feelings, stress, anxiety, and how all this SEO world works. But we are dissociation in with ourselves, and like we are not listening to what we want, but we know, like we all know what we want, but we are just like putting all others SEO tasks as priority instead of our talk with us, like for 5 minutes, and just to make a plan. We don't need to do nothing right away, but to make a plan how to actually achieve that in the future.
I could not agree more. And as I said, if my answer serves for everybody to kind of follow the lead and just kind of have an honest conversation with themselves, I am here to tell them from my experience, every change that I have ever made in my life actually turned out for the better.
It's for all, like for all people. And of course, we all have problems when we are
Are you happy
experiencing
with your
different.
life?
What
Are
did you
you
say?
are you happy with your life now?
Oh, more than happy,
There,
like.
there you
And
go.
that is a feeling that I really want to discuss now, because feeling of happiness and fulfillment, like it's not that like I am happy 100% all the day and I'm jumping, like no, it's th- we think that it's, I don't know, so exciting, the feeling, but it's more towards, like peace. I am okay where I'm now, the way how I'm doing things, the way how I'm deciding on new challenges, how, like it's more towards peaceful life. Even we are expecting, oh, like I will be happy, I will jump from the stair, like to another stair.
I
That's the thing.
okay. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
And what I wanted to say is, actually we will all have problems, and we have problems, but actually changing the environment, changing the job, changing the career, changing anything will also come with the problems, but at least these problems will be on the new higher level, and that is actually the growth. So, but
I
we can't avoid the problems. It's just like which problems you're choosing.
I agree. I agree. It's actually a very smart thing to say, and yeah, the growth comes with bigger responsibilities, bigger issues, and bigger challenges. And yeah,
Yes, and bigger benefits as well.
yes, definitely. I
All
agree.
right. And uh, uh, you're now in career break for
Yeah.
almost 1 month. So, what kind of feelings you see? Do you see some new perspectives regarding the life, the things that you want? How you would describe that?
Okay, so I'm in a little bit of a funny situation where, like, I would like a career break, but the industry is very much interested in me coming back in.
Maybe the life is coming back to you the moment when
I
that
don't
we
know.
mentioned.
I don't know. I mean, it's fun. I honestly, it's I I feel very calm. I am finally getting to do a lot of things that I have been postponing. Something that I believe would be very, very good for me, and something that I believe would work. I'm trying to figure out, like, what I would like for me to be my next challenge, because like some positions I can do probably with my eyes closed and with my left hand,
Mm.
but like, at this point, like, it should be a conversation with myself to kind of figure out what the next challenge is for me. So I always say yes to conversations with the people who reach out, and I hope that when I make a decision, I know that when I make a decision, it's going to be a good one for me. And to be honest, I am very much enjoying this little career break. It's not a break from SEO. So like,
Mhm.
I love doing it, and I'm doing like my little own thing, like that I truly enjoy doing. And also I've dedicated a little bit more time to some things that make me happy, but I did not have a lot
Mhm.
of time for those things. So at this point, time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Mm.
And I don't know. I guess what people can learn from this is that I am very much relaxed, and I'm very much confident, like, because I am using my career break to work on my knowledge and to work on some things that I have wanted to for the longest of time. And I think there is power in that, because if you take a career break and then you kind of leave the knowledge outside, you're most likely gonna panic at some point. And
Mhm.
because like everybody believes, like in work and in earning money and everything. And I don't think panic at this point is like a good thing. It probably is going to make you make some rash decisions. But as long as you are also dedicated to working on your knowledge and working on the things that you enjoy, and just kind of building up on everything, you will be totally fine. So,
Mhm.
as I said, I'm not sure how long my career break is going to take me. It could be very short, but I'm very excited about the opportunities that are currently in the industry. Even though some industries are very pessimistic, I think like there is so much opportunities for SEOs all levels in gambling, and I would definitely encourage other SEOs from other industries to give it 3, 4, 5, 6 years and to kind of understand like this industry a little bit more, because it is so much fun. There is so much great SEO to be done. There is so much thing to test, and you are going to love it. And I know I've been talking to a lot of SEOs from other industry who like manage heavy e-commerce website, and they're like, I'm not even sure like what can I get implemented in the next quarter. And I'm like, for us, it's a sprint. So
Mhm.
these are actually excellent conditions for SEOs,
Mhm.
especially gambling affiliation. Yeah. So
Yeah,
these,
and I really love what you say because first of all, we didn't define like how long is a career break. Is it like 5 days, 1 month, 5 months? Doesn't matter. Like, what I really love that you are doing is actually you are shaping a new person that will have new information. Like, and you will come from the new position what you really want. And like whenever we are not sure which decision we want to take, usually we need more information or some other external factors, but when we are collecting more information, that will help us to actually make a decision.
Mhm.
So we really need to like leave all these kind of regulations, like what will happen. No, like as much time as you need, or even just like 1 month will help actually to not think about regular SEO tasks, but we have meetings to just like have like few weeks of really seeing like what listening to yourself more, because the key moment and like key word that you were mentioning few times is actually you get time for fun, you get time for more knowledge, you get time for new things, new activities, and all these activities are shaping you into new person that you will become, and from that better place make a new decision that is good for your life. So I really love these career breaks from this perspective, and we don't need to have like 1 year career break traveling all. No, it's just like it's definitely much more simpler than we are thinking, like I need to have a lot of money, I need to have this, and no, it's just like you need to have a little time for yourself to see what you really want, and that from these moments are coming like more fulfillment, more happiness. Like you will not be a totally new person, but at least you are working towards new person that you are becoming, that is definitely more fulfilled if you are following your dreams.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I mean, everybody is different, so people might approach things differently. Structured people might be like, "I'm taking a 3 month career break," and I think that is also okay.
Yeah.
I honestly like. I think like it could work for whatever reason. So like it all depends on the person. But as I said before, it is helping you to become a different version of yourself, and depending on how much effort you invest, you will actually get a better return on that investment, if I may
Yeah.
use this term.
Okay, I love it. So, last question. Like, I was thinking, like Maya 10 years ago. Uh, is there anything else that you would like to tell that girl 10 years ago, entering all these new markets, SEO things? Like, what that girl would like to know on the on the first years of her career?
Okay, so Maja 10 years ago already had, I think, like 4 years of SEO experience and the very profitable SEO agency.
Mm-hmm.
So Maja 10 years ago, I would have told her, first of all, get a co-founder because you're going to burn yourself out if you just continue doing everything yourself. And the second thing is that like don't just close your business, sell it, because like
Mm.
I was looking at it from a different perspective, it would be like some of the better decisions. But when I was starting my career, and I would really wish if somebody knew this, if this was true. But I'm trying to figure out whether I'm the first female SEO to give a lecture on SEO in Serbia.
Oh,
Be-
wow.
because it's still on YouTube, my first lecture from 2013. And
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if there were any other lectures by women SEOs. I don't think SEO was like too big at that point. So I would
And
love to
what
know that.
was the Yeah, I was watching that video 2015. Is it
13,
that?
2013. It was DAFED in
Yes.
one of the colleges. Yeah, yeah, it was
And the
2013.
topic was what would every SEO would like to know, right?
Yeah, what would SEO would like for the devs to know, for you to know. And I actually like for that I interviewed other SEOs that were like on a very high level from me, and I explained a lot of things that they were looking at. And now when I look at it at this video, like I cringe a little bit because at that point landing pages were called doorway pages because it's a door to your website. But now doorway pages, like with the black hat industry, they have like a completely different meaning. But okay, like these terms just change. And I think it was super fun. I had such an enormous fun doing that lecture. And honestly, like at that point, I was also like a very junior SEO. I mean, that was just like I think like 3 years of experience. And I was approached by a lot of devs who like asked me questions, like why am I ranking for this keyword? Like I don't have this keyword anywhere on my website. And then I would do like a site command, like for search for that keyword, and they would like have it in the URL and like some random URLs that they didn't even know were indexed, etc. So like it was super fun. So I think like if I was giving advice to that Maja at the beginning of her career, I honestly would have told her, I wouldn't have skipped any part of my career. I actually loved every single bit that I had, all the ups and downs. I just wish I just did it with other people because it takes a little bit more pressure of your back.
Mm.
And I would just say SEO is so amazing. Never stop learning.
Mm, I love it. And it's so funny because when I was stalking you before this conversation, I was watching that video. It was yesterday or day before, and I
Yeah.
wanted to start with that video because I really love the topic, and I watched you, like, and it was like 10 and plus more years, and also I was watching the landing page and I was like, no, like you shouldn't listen to this because now it's so different. But some kind of like core topics you explain it there, like basic and like all these additional things with their change. But like you really had that, and you have that teacher, like moment when you really educate people. So I really loved that we mentioned this because I wanted to start this video with this video and like a discussion about that. So I'm really glad that we mentioned. But
Well,
of course, even I'm preparing myself, I'm starting the episode in totally new way.
no, I think that's lovely. On my end, like I think my education in like because believe it or not, I am by vocation I'm a professor of French language and literature, and nobody believes
That
me
explains everything.
because I just like completely switched professions. So like even if you do that, like I don't remember even how old I was, but like after I finished my university, after I got my degree, my parents to put it on the wall. I just switched profession and I never looked back. And I think that is totally fine. I don't think like what you study is probably going to be, it might not be what you end up working. I don't think like I think like all the changes in life turn out to be really well. You just have to work hard on them. And I like that video just because like it was, I think it was my first time presenting something. I was very comfortable on stage even before, but like that was my first time presenting something, and it was to the devs who actually thought that SEOs are just like, like those pesky bastards that like marketing wants us to listen to, but they have no idea. They just keep talking about this and this and this. And they actually presented a couple of like very big errors that like people have forgotten to do, and like how it influences on SEO. And like I had a lot of devs who were like, okay, I need to kind of understand what this SEO thing is, because like it's all obviously messing up the dev stuff. So
Yeah. And especially I like because you ask like these people on LinkedIn, right? And then they were writing you. So basically they explained the whole problem and it was from the real people. So, like dev
actually,
or like
believe,
watching.
believe it or not, it was Google Plus.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was the old community. So like back on Google Plus, there were a couple of SEO communities. They're now on Discord and everywhere else on Reddit. And, there are these SEO communities where like a really high level of knowledge was being shared. And I was just like soaking it up all in, and I just really enjoyed it. And it was moderated by my then boss, Dan Petrovic. And I just kind of asked a question, could you share like some of the things that you would like dev to know, or like your biggest pain point that the dev made, like just so we could tell this to them. And they went all in. So like these were like really high level SEOs, like from other from other niches, other industries, with like a lot more knowledge and a lot more experience than I had at that moment. And it was such a lovely thing to get all that feedback from them. And I hope it helped for that little small community in that amphitheater in Serbia and on YouTube, etc. And since then, I've given a lot of very detailed lecture on understanding intent, on getting technical SEO implemented, on a lot of stuff that link building, everything else that kind of worked for me. And it is part of my personality that comes from the teaching background. I really, really try to share knowledge as much as I can. And that so far, that is something that I have enjoyed doing a lot.
And it is so, like people can feel it, and maybe the future career will be more about these things. So let's see. We are going to wait for it.
Okay. Well, I'm working on something right now that I think should be finished by the end of the month. And if I'm successful, it will be very good in terms of knowledge sharing. So
Nice, let us know. And also, I saw the book that you also contributing to the author. So
yeah,
definitely,
2 books. Yeah, the advanced SEO tips and the iGaming SEO. Yes. I was. We were joking about the iGaming SEO because I was the only woman on the cover, and then we were, like tossing, like, who do we want to put wig on,
yeah. And then
on the wig, so they're not alone. So like it's a really fun community of SEOs that collaborated on those 2 books, and I am honestly very happy to be friends with all of them. It's great to kind of run some ideas by the community, and it's super nice because I do believe, looking at it right now, that good SEOs don't actually have egos. And because it's impossible to have an ego if you work in the SEO industry, because whatever thing you implement, it only takes a couple of tweaks from Google for that to go down. And if you believe, but I did everything right, that's not the right approach. You probably did do everything right, but the rules are changed now. So you have to be critical to what you did right and to what is needed right now in order to kind of implement things further on. So SEO communities are probably the best thing out there. And I love every single SEO community. I love the women in tech SEO. I love the girls in Serbia. I love like my Discord SEO communities. I just love it. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, nice. And let us know how the project is going on. So I don't have doubt that it will be something that is very helpful and valuable. So fingers crossed to be released as soon as the time and everything
Yeah.
is good for you. All right.
For
So
my end.
fingers, yeah. Thank you so much, Maja. It was so inspiring to talk with you and to watch you. So we will stay in touch. And thank you. Have a great day.
You too as well. Have a nice day. And thank you so much for this call. I had a lovely time.